Hello, Matilda. Are you there? I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming to my birthday party yesterday. And thank you so much for helping with the cooking as well. The steaks that you brought were the star of the show.
Hello, Debbie! I'm really happy that you enjoyed them. The pleasure was all mine.
By the way, there was actually something that I wanted to talk to you about that I wasn't able to mention yesterday. I was just wondering if there have been any developments on the kid front?
The kid front? You mean you're curious when your son and I are going to have kids?
Well, I know that this isn't the first time we've talked about this subject, and you know how badly I want to have grandkids so soon as possible.
I know. And I thought that we agreed on the other times that we've talked about this was that it was going to be a decision between Max and I, right?
You really think that excuse is still going to work on me? You and my son have been married for 3 whole years already, and soon it's going to be a 4th. I want my grandchildren, and I want them now, young lady.
Well, we are trying our best, Debbie.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Are you getting some kind of fertility treatment done, or something like that? Don't tell me that you went to a doctor and they told you that you couldn't even have kids.
No, it's nothing like that at all, thank you very much.
Well, then you must not be trying very hard, since there are still no grandkids that I have. Maybe you should go see a doctor and have them take a look at you. Because at this point, Max's younger brother is going to be giving me grandkids before you do. After all, his wife is still young, and it's much more likely to work out. Although I have to say that this whole situation just makes me ashamed of my eldest son.
I really don't think that a baby should be something that is rushed or just done to fulfill a sense of obligation. Wouldn't you prefer that Max and I have a child on our own terms?
At this rate, Max isn't even going to take over his father's company, even though he's the eldest child.
Sorry, what do you mean by that? Was Max even supposed to take over your husband's company? Because he's already not working for the family business anymore. He works for another company right now.
I know that he's working for a different company now, but I'm still going to have him take over the company when his father retires. If I'm being honest with you, Max's little brother John really isn't the brightest when it comes to business stuff. Not to mention that he's even living at home with me since he's been having money problems, but I won't hesitate to give him the job over Max.
Well, I really don't know how else to tell you this, but I don't really think that Max even wants his dad's job, so...
What are you talking about? That can't be right at all. This is his family's legacy, Max's birthright. Of course he wants to take over the family business.
Well, I heard that you and him already talked about this and that he said he didn't want it.
I know, but the last time we talked about this, Max was still too young to really understand. I'm just sure of it that he's come around and would love to run the family business. He just needed a bit more time to mature and see things my way.
I'm really not so sure about that, Debbie.
Well, thankfully, this is something that really doesn't involve you anyways. So how about you just worry about making me my grandchildren? And tell Max that he needs to be a good eldest son for his family. If you don't do this, well, let's just say that there are plenty of pretty young women who would love to be married to a man like my son. So if you don't want him to leave you, I recommend showing some initiative.
Debbie, you can't honestly think that you have the power to make Max and I get a divorce, right?
You really have no idea just where you stand, do you? I am sick and tired of arguing. Just give me babies now. Honestly, you should just quit your job and focus entirely on trying to become a mother for my future grandchildren. You are going to get pregnant by the end of the year, or else. And if you can't, then you can go ahead and kiss your marriage to Max goodbye. Hello there, Matilda. I just wanted to let you know that John's wife Rachel is pregnant.
Oh, really? Well, that's great news. I should call and congratulate her.
Not only that, but she already knows that it's going to be a girl.
Oh, I see. Well, that's amazing. I bet she must be so excited to have a beautiful baby daughter on the way.
Are you being serious right now? Don't you realize this means she's going to beat you?
You mean she's going to have a child before I do? I don't really care about that at all.
You mean you really think that this is a good thing? This isn't a good thing at all. Besides, what am I supposed to do with a useless granddaughter, huh? All this proves is that Rachel is a horrible wife and an even worse daughter-in-law.
I'm sorry, but how does having a daughter make her any of those things at all? I really think that you need to get out of this antiquated mindset when it comes to family legacies and inheritance.
You mean that you think it's fine if my husband's company was taken over by a woman?
I think that your husband's company should be taken over by whoever is most qualified for the position, man or woman.
Oh, I see what's going on here. I suppose I should have expected as much from a lowly office grunt like you. You're just incapable of understanding how things work on this high of a level. And more importantly, are you pregnant yet?
Nope, I am still not pregnant, thank you for asking.
You really must think that you're going to be young forever or something like that, huh? Don't you realize that you're already in your 30s? You need to think about having children now before it's too late.
Thank you for your concern, Debbie. I will be sure to put some thought into that.
I really don't think that you will, though. I mean, if you did, then you would already be pregnant by now. I want you to go to a doctor next week. Make an appointment right now.
And just why would I need to go to the doctor's?
Well, because I heard from a friend that she was able to get treatment for her fertility issues by seeing a doctor about them. So I think that you should go and figure out what's wrong with you.
Actually, there was something that I wanted to talk to you about all of this pregnancy business.
Oh, really? Well, what is it?
I just think you should know that I talked to Max about this too. He told me that if you said anything about me being pregnant again, that I should tell this to you. And the truth is that we're already seeking medical help for fertility issues.
I knew it. I knew that you couldn't have children.
Well, not quite. You see, the doctors found that I wasn't the one with the issue. It was actually Max.
Wait a second. You're telling me that Max is the one with trouble getting you pregnant?
It appears that way. Now, I don't really know the medical explanation for all of it. For that, you would have to call Max and talk to him yourself. I'm sure that he'd be able to explain things to you better than I could.
This can't be, right? I don't believe it. You're telling me that there's something wrong with my son's... the swimmers?
Again, I really am not the right person to be asking these questions to.
No, I don't believe it. You're lying to me. You have to be. I know that my son is the poster child of good health. He's hardly ever been sick, even when he was little.
Well, I am not lying to you. I'm just telling you what he has passed along to me.
I don't believe it. I have to go and talk to Max right now.
Yeah, I think that would be better than this. But anyways, that's why I didn't think you were going to be able to split us up for not having any kids together. And I'll never leave my husband just because of his condition. I promise you that.
That isn't why I want to go and talk to him. I want to talk to him because if I find out that you're lying to me, then I really will make him leave you. If it's really you who can't have kids, then I'm going to make you pay for lying to me like that. Hey there, Matilda. Is now a good time to message you?
Oh, hey, Rachel. It's been a long time, no? Also, I heard that you were pregnant. So let me just say congratulations on that. If there's anything you need help with or anything I can do for you, just let me know.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words, Matilda. Although, you wouldn't guess this was a good thing from the reactions we've gotten over here.
Oh, you mean over there as in Debbie's house? I understand she's kind of upset about it being a girl.
That's right. And to think that someone could really even care about that in this day and age. I'm being treated as if I chose the sex of the baby on purpose just to disappoint Debbie or something.
I've been thinking about that a lot recently. Are you sure that it's a good idea for you to both live in that house? I mean, it just seems like Debbie and them are being really mean to you and putting you through a lot.
It's true, though. I was worried when I first moved in here, but now I just regret doing it at all. But that's why John and I are coming up with a plan in secret to get out of this situation.
But won't that be really difficult for you while you're pregnant? Although even I've been thinking that it would be good to look for ways to put distance between Debbie and myself. And I know that if I had a kid on the way, I would want them to be in as safe an environment as possible.
Thank you so much for understanding, Matilda, but, this isn't even what I wanted to talk to you about in the first place.
Oh, right. Well, I guess we should just get into it then.
Well, I heard that you were going to be visiting next week, but whatever you do, don't come, okay?
Wait, what? I wasn't expecting this. Where is this all coming from?
Well, it's just, people are acting really strangely around here, so whatever you do, don't come.
I don't understand what you mean by that. I mean, isn't it just going to be our husband's family there? What do you mean they're acting weird? Weird how?
I mean, they've just not been acting like themselves, and what's worse, I think they're going to try and make you have a kid with some stranger.
What do you mean, some stranger? What does that even mean? I'm sorry, but I'm really not understanding what you're trying to tell me. But whatever it is, it really doesn't sound good at all.
I mean that you were going to be coming to stay with us next week, isn't that right?
Yeah, that is right. I was going to go over and maybe spend a couple nights.
Well, the thing is that I heard Debbie talking about setting up separate rooms for you and Max. And I think they're going to use that to bring in this strange guy.
But what in the world is going on over there? Don't they realize it's a crime?
I know, it's just terrible, but I really do think that they're up to something around here. The other night, I got up to use the bathroom and I heard John's parents talking to each other late at night. I almost thought I was dreaming because what they were saying was so crazy. But it was real, and that's really what they were talking about.
Now that you say that, Debbie was uncharacteristically nice to me when she invited us over the other day.
Well, I also heard from Debbie that you told her Max was having some fertility issues. Is that right?
Yeah, it is true, unfortunately. But we're still not giving up on having kids. And there's no way that not having kids would ever drive us apart anyways.
Of course not. You two married each other because you love each other. I feel the same way about John.
But then, what is Debbie's problem? Why is she acting like this? I don't get it. Doesn't she understand how ridiculous she's being? Although now I have to wonder about what she might have in store for me if even I say that I'm not going next week.
I know what you mean. At this point, it might be best to just cut her out of our lives entirely.
I know, but don't you worry that that would mean you would be the target of Debbie's ire? I mean, if Max and I tried to run away, then there's no way that she would ever let you and John go. Especially since you're pregnant. That just adds a whole new layer to worry about.
I know, but don't you get that you're in danger right now, Matilda?
It's okay. It might be a long shot, but I think I have a good idea of how we can all get out of this okay.
You have an idea of what to do about Debbie? But what is it?
Well, in order for this to work, I'll have to go to Debbie's house next week. But after that, she should stay out of our lives. Forever.
Hello there, Matilda. I really hope that you're not thinking of going to the police about this. I just hope you know that this won't go well for you if you do. And just think about what's going to happen to us. You'll completely ruin our family business.
And just why in the world do you think I should care about that?
Because you married into our family, you have duties to us.
And is that why you sicked some strange man on me while I was alone in my room? Thankfully, your sons and Rachel were there to stop anything terrible from happening. If I'd been all by myself, then who knows what would have happened. But I suppose that's how you pictured it when you planned this. I don't care if you are my mother-in-law. I don't have to take being treated like this.
But surely you see that I was doing all this for you, right? I mean, I was just so worried about you not having any children yet. And since I found out that you weren't the one with the fertility issues, I just figured that this would work.
What would work? That I would just carry some complete stranger's child to term with no questions asked?
Well, I just assumed that you would be asleep and that man could sneak into your room while you were asleep.
Yeah, I'm sure that you would have preferred it if I never noticed what was going on.
But I just thought that if you got pregnant, that it would bring you and Max closer together. I was only doing this for you and Max. Can't you see that?
And just how in the world was me having another man's baby supposed to bring Max and I closer together? This wasn't for either of us. This is all for you. You're the one who is most hung up on this baby issue. And when you found out that it was actually your son with the fertility issues, you just couldn't stand that, could you?
But you don't understand. We don't have someone to take on the family's mantle after Max and John.
Well, now you have no one to take on the mantle since neither John nor Max want anything to do with the family business at all anymore. And even if we did have a son, there's no way that we would let you decide what his life would be. Our child's future would be up to us as parents and our child themselves.
But that can't be! Our company has always had a male president. Max is going to take over, and then your future son was going to take over after Max.
Well, Max said that he doesn't want to work for a company that would do something like this just to find an heir. Not only that, but he knows all about how the company has been going into the red so that you and your husband could line your pockets. What's the point of working for a company that exploits their workers like you do?
Please, you can't do this to us. You're going to destroy all that our ancestors have worked for. At least hand over your child to me when he's born so that I can raise him.
Did you seriously just ask me that? You really think that I would ever do something like that? You really need to get a grip, lady! Because what you just attempted was a crime. You do realize that, don't you?
I know. It was bad, I know, but I promise that I'll never, ever say other things about having kids as long as you don't go to the cops about this.
I think I'll have to give that a thought after Rachel and John move out.
No! You have to promise me that you won't ever go to the police right now. If the cops get involved, then that means our family's name is going to be dragged through the mud. I need you to promise me right now, or else I'll never be able to sleep.
Well, if you're worried about protecting your reputation, then you should have never done this in the first place. Not only that, but Max and I are also going to cut you out of our lives. We don't want anything to do with you anymore.
What do you mean? You can't do that. I'm Max's mother. I'm your mother-in-law. You can't just cut us out so easily.
Oh, well, you don't need to worry about that, because it's already happened. In fact, Max has told the rest of your family about this.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean?
I mean that Max let everyone know what you were plotting to do, and asked them all to think very hard about associating with you in the future.
But then, that means that all our relatives already know about this.
That's right. We've told them everything that you were planning, and now they know what you tried to put me through.
You have to stop this, please! Tell them you were lying to me. Don't you realize the rumors that are going to be caused from this?
Rumors? Don't you mean the truth? Because that's all that I told them. I never said anything that wasn't true.
Please, you have to make this stop. I'm so sorry for everything. I'm sorry, okay? Just please, don't go to the police and tell my relatives that you were lying.
I'm not going to do that. You'll just have to learn how to live with the consequences of what you've done. I don't have anything to do with you anymore. And if you try to do anything to get back at me for this, I will not hesitate to drag you to court for this. After that, John and Rachel were able to safely move out of Debbie's house. They cut off John's parents and never, ever heard from them again. As for me, I still haven't filed a police report about this. But I did make Debbie and her husband swear to leave Rachel and John alone. I even got it in writing. I told them that if they ever broke their promises that I would drag them to court and sue them for their sick baby-making scheme. Then I told them to stay away from Max and I as well. It isn't that I didn't want to go to the police about this, but I understood that I had leverage and wanted to do whatever I could to make sure that Rachel and her baby were safe. A few months later, Max's family business finally went bankrupt under his father's management. There was even an article about how the company lacked any heir in the family willing to step up and try to fix the business's troubles. Last I heard, Max's parents had to sell their house and downsize their lives greatly. I heard later on, through the grapevine, that the two of them were not doing great. Even after downsizing their life and moving into their tiny apartment, their savings were not enough to take care of them for the rest of their lives. I heard that both of them are working again, although because their company's reputation was tarnished, there wasn't a single serious job that would hire them. As a result, I've heard that they are both working multiple part-time jobs, barely making enough to cover their expenses. Finally, Max and I found out that I was pregnant. Of course, with Max's baby. I'm already several months pregnant, and we're excited to welcome our baby into a world where they won't be controlled by their cruel grandparents. We even told Rachel and John about this, and they were so excited to meet their new niece or nephew. Although I was also skeptical about Max's parents, I am so happy that my marriage to him has brought me closer to his brother and Rachel. It just goes to show you that family is more than a complex system of blood ties. It is about finding the people who make you feel safe and loved and never letting them go. Although there's no guarantee that something crazy won't ever happen in life again, I doubt it would ever be as ludicrous as what Max's parents tried to do to me. And as long as I can protect my family from anything like that happening to them, then I will have felt like I have succeeded as a wife and mother.
Hey, Mom, are you up already? I just wanted to say that I really wish that you and Dad would stop fighting all the time. Did you know that Ginny had to come into my room and sleep in my bed because she was so upset?
Oh no. Did you hear us talking last night? I'm so sorry about that, Sarah. I guess we just got a little more loud than we thought. We didn't mean to wake either of you.
Well, I know that you two have been trying to hide it for a while now. But I know for several nights now you and Dad have been fighting non-stop.
Well, I won't lie to you. You're not wrong about that.
At least I feel like I can handle it, but I feel so bad for Ginny. She's just so young and she doesn't understand, and she was crying all night.
I know that it's really hard on you two, but I'm just afraid that there's nothing to really be done about it. Although, since you're in high school, I'm sure that you have a much better idea about what's actually going on than your sister does. But I just think you should know that I'm thinking of leaving your father.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured that things were heading that direction.
I really am sorry that you've had to deal with us fighting so much, though. We really did try to make this work. I didn't think we'd end up here.
Well, if it's really what you want to do now, then I don't suppose there's any point in fighting it. But I just wonder about what's going to happen to us.
Well, what would you like to happen? I mean, do you have a preference for who you'd rather live with?
I'm sorry, Mom. I don't think that I can answer that right now. I need more time to think on it.
Of course, dear. Well, I'll talk to your father about this, and in the meantime, you should really think about what I asked you. After all, you're going to be starting college soon, and a lot more is going to be changing for you. So maybe it would just be easier if I took Ginny and left.
Hold on a second. You mean that I wouldn't be living with my own sister? I would only be living with Dad, and you would take Ginny and just go? That's not what I want to happen at all!
Oh, I know that it's tough right now, but you need to remember that your sister is only 9 years old. I really think she still needs her mother. But you're much older and more mature, so I think that it would be okay if you stayed with your father, don't you?
I don't know. It's just... Well, I'm not really sure about that.
And just what part of this aren't you sure about, dear?
Well, it's just that... Are you really sure that you're going to be able to take care of Ginny all by yourself?
And just what is that supposed to mean, Sarah?
I'm just saying that you've always been a housewife and you've never had a job. So what's going to happen when Ginny grows up? What if she wants to go to college? How are you going to save up for her? At least Dad has more means.
Are you trying to make me feel bad for this? You really don't think that I'll be able to take care of one measly little girl?
I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything like that at all, I promise. It's just that she's my little sister, and I want to make sure that she's taken care of well. I mean, at least if we were together, it wouldn't just be one parent. I could watch Ginny too.
You know, your father said the exact same thing to me. But I am not going to just stand here and take an insult like that. If you think that I'm going to hand over Ginny, you're wrong. She's my daughter, and no one else is going to have her. I am going to raise her, got it?
But aren't you worried about what effect that might actually have on her? I just don't actually know if you have the means to be able to raise a child on your own. I know that you love Ginny, but I do too, and that's why I'm saying this.
And just what would a high school girl like you know about working or raising a kid, huh? You think you know better than me?
I'm not saying that I know better than you. I know that I'm just in high school. But I'm not just worried for Ginny. I'm saying all of this for your sake as well.
I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to kick me out of the family. You don't want me to have anyone left, do you? Well, that's just all the more reason to not let you lay a finger on Ginny. I'll raise her to be a much better daughter than you. You'll see.
Mom, please. I know that you're under a lot of stress right now, but we need to think about this calmly. Besides, it's not like being divorced means that you won't ever see any of us again. Please, I really think that we need to be putting Ginny first.
You keep saying that we should be doing this all for Ginny, but I think that you just want her for yourself. I'm not being the selfish one. You are. How dare you try and steal my own daughter away from me? If you really loved her, you wouldn't try and take her away from me. A girl needs her mother at this age, so you don't dare try and ruin my family anymore.
I get that you love Ginny, but I think that you're letting your emotions blind you. How about we just ask Ginny what she would prefer? Would that be okay?
Well, of course we can do that. And if Ginny said that she would want to go with her father, then that would be just fine. Anyways, I was going to tell Ginny about the divorce tonight and see what she thinks.
Mom, if you want to divorce Dad, then that is between you and him. But I think that you need to be very careful with how you deal with Ginny. I mean, you know how sensitive she can be. And I just know she's going to be crushed when she hears about the divorce.
I know that. I am her mother, after all. And of course, she should be sad. This is a sad thing. You're the one who's being way too calm about all of this. Don't you realize that this is your family that we're talking about here, too?
I get that, but things have been going downhill for a while, and I knew this was coming. So I guess I just had a bit more time to prepare for this is all. Besides, I'm not a little kid anymore.
Oh yeah, of course. You're such a mature adult still in high school, aren't you? You really are just like your father.
Hey, Mom, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I was cleaning around the house and I think I found your ring. You told me that you'd been looking for this for a while, right?
You mean the one that's from your grandma? Is that the ring that you're talking about?
I don't really know about that, but I think it's a ruby on the ring. Either way, the rock on the ring is red, and I remember you saying that you were looking for that.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one I've been looking for all over. So you just found it cleaning around the house? I must have dropped it somewhere, but thank you so much for finding it.
Well, if you want, I can go ahead and send it to you. But if you're worried about it getting damaged, I can just hand-deliver it.
No, I don't think that there's any need for you to go and do that. Besides, I'd be at home with my new husband, so better for you not to come.
Hold on a second, you're with your new husband? You're already remarried? But you and Dad have only been divorced for like 6 months.
Don't go and get your panties in a twist. I'll have you know that I wasn't dating this guy until after your father and I were apart.
That's not really the part that I'm worried about with this, Mom.
Well, anyways, I just know that my new husband would be really mad at me if he knew my eldest daughter had visited here. So don't think that you're ever going to meet him because he's not interested. Go ahead and just mail the ring. Don't bring it over.
Right. Okay, I guess I can do that. Is Ginny okay then?
What do you mean? Why are you asking about her all of a sudden?
Well, it's just that I'm worried about her, and I just want to make sure that she's adjusting to everything okay. After all, it's just you two living with each other now. And since you have a new husband, I just hope that she's doing okay.
There's nothing to be worried about at all, Sarah. If you must know, Ginny and my new husband Brent get along just fine. He's practically like a father to her already.
Well, I certainly hope that's the case. But this is just all a little unexpected. I guess Ginny's grown up a lot in these past 6 months, huh?
Exactly. So it's like I said, you have nothing to worry about when it comes to your little sister. The three of us are doing just fine. You may even be surprised to hear that we're not even having any money troubles, so there.
Well, I guess that's all really good news then. I am happy and surprised to hear all of that. And congratulations on your wedding, Mom. I hope that you and Brent are happy. I'm glad that it sounds like he and Jenny get along so well.
If anything, I'm the one that's worried about you. After all, with you and your dads having the personalities that you do, well, has the house burned down yet?
I really don't think things are going to get that bad for us. But things are pretty normal for us here. Nothing too crazy going on.
Is your dad taking care of you? Are you leaving the house to do fun things at least?
I mean, he and I will go shopping for groceries and stuff like that. But no, we haven't actually gone out and done anything like an amusement park or anything.
I knew it. It's just as I feared. That's why I couldn't stand to leave Ginny there. She would have been bored out of her mind. But at least here she has every form of entertainment that you can think of.
Sarah? Are you there? Please, answer me. I'm so hungry.
Oh my gosh, Ginny! It's been so long! And if you're hungry, then why don't you go and get yourself something to eat, silly?
I haven't eaten in a long time. I'm starving, Sarah.
Hey, Ginny, hold on a second. You're starting to worry me here. Hasn't Mom been making you anything to eat? Ask her to feed you.
I can't do that. She isn't even at home. Mom hasn't been home in a long time.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by that? Why isn't Mom at home? Are you at home right now? Are you there with anyone at all?
I'm not at home, but I was told that this isn't my home.
What do you mean? Who told you that? Who would say that to you?
It's my new dad, Brent. He told me that I'm not allowed to be at home anymore.
But then, Ginny, where are you right now if you're not at home?
I'm in the shed. I'm in the shed behind the house in the lawn.
I don't believe this. Is this some kind of joke? Am I being punked right now or something?
It's not a joke, Sarah. I'm really in the shed, and I'm so hungry.
Well, what about Mom? Where is she right now? Why isn't she helping you out?
Because Mom told me that I have to do every little thing that Brent tells me to do. So I don't want to ask for help since he put me out here.
Hold on, is Mom even there? Why isn't she taking care of you? Where is Mom right now?
She's with Brent, and they're both out traveling right now.
Wait just a second. You're telling me that our Mom and Brent are out traveling right now? And that they've left you out in the shed in the yard and that you're there all alone?
That's right. Brent said that I wasn't allowed in the house because I'm a bad girl.
I don't know what to say at all. This is just horrible. What in the world is Mom thinking? And you haven't eaten a meal in a long time? Is that what you're telling me?
The last time that I ate was a couple of days ago.
And what about at school? Are you at least getting fed meals by the school?
I haven't been going to school. Everyone says that I'm smelly there anyways, so I decided that I don't want to go to school anymore.
What do you mean? Why in the world are the kids there saying that you're stinky?
It's because I haven't had a bath in forever. I stink, and I know it. But so does everyone else, and they always tell me.
Wait, what? Ginny, oh my goodness, I had no idea at all. That's just horrible.
Brent told me that he wasn't going to waste having to pay more for water just so that I could take a bath.
What kind of sicko is this guy? Who doesn't let a child take a bath?
Please, Sarah, you have to believe me. I'm not really a bad girl. It's not true at all.
I know that it's not true, sis. You're a good girl, and I've really missed you. You just wait right there. I'm gonna go and pick you up and put an end to all of this. We're going to get you cleaned up and fed, and everything is going to be okay, alright?
I want to go back home. I want to be with you and Dad. I hate this place. It's so horrible.
I know, it sounds just terrible, but don't worry. We're going to get you out of there. I still don't understand why you even ended up going with Mom. After all, I thought that you told Mom you wanted to go with me.
I did. I told her that. I said that I wanted to be with Sarah when she asked who I wanted to be with.
So then, you didn't tell Mom that you wanted to go and live with her, is that right?
That's right, and I still want to live with you and Dad. I told that to Mom again, and she got really mad. And that's why Brett said that I was a bad girl.
So then you wanted to come and live with Dad and I from the very start. I don't believe this. How could she lie like that? Well, you just wait right there. I'm going to pick you up and get you out of there, and you'll finally be coming home.
Hey, Ginny? Where the heck did you go, huh? I thought we told you to wait at the house until we got back. You knew that we were getting back today, didn't you? Do you want to spend even more time in the shed?
If you're looking for Jenny, you should know that she's in the hospital right now. But please, do go on about the shed, Mom.
Wait a second. Is this Ginny?
No, it isn't. It's your other daughter, Zara.
Wait, what? Why in the world are you texting me from Ginny's number? What the heck is going on here? This is Ginny's number, isn't it?
Yes, it is Ginny's number. And if you want to know how I'm texting you from it, it's because I'm here with her right now. And you have put my poor little sister through hell. Do you know that? How could you do this to your own daughter? You left her outside and told her to sleep in the shed until you and your husband got back from a trip. You lied to me and told me that you were taking good care of her.
Just tell me where my daughter is. Where did you take her? Give her back to me right now.
You really think that I'd ever give her back to you? I'm going to protect her from you. You're never getting her back.
I'm your mother, and I demand that you return her to me right now. She is just a child. You can't just kidnap her.
You're right, she is just a kid, and that's why I'm stepping in as an adult to help her now. I've already told Dad, and he rushed his way back here.
Hold on a second. You mean that you told your father about what was happening with Ginny?
Of course I told Dad what was going on, Mom, and when he saw the state that she was in, he was almost in tears. Were you making her live like this for the entire 6 months? We're going to report all of this to Child Protective Services.
Hold on a second. We don't need to go and get any kind of authorities involved here. Let's not get carried away here.
You do realize what you did to Ginny is a crime, don't you? And that's to say nothing of all the bruises that were on her body. What did you do to my sister? Why would you treat her this way?
I have no idea what you're talking about. She's still just a little girl. She probably just fell over while playing or something.
No, I think she got these bruises from some cruel monster hitting her. And the doctors at the hospital seem to agree as well. So you better believe that we're going to get CPS involved. I'm surprised that you haven't heard anything from them yet.
But I mean, look, you can't just do this to me. Give me my daughter back right now.
I told you that it's not going to happen. In fact, Ginny told me that when you and Dad split up, that she told you she wanted to go with Dad and I. You lied to me and said that you would ask her where she wanted to go. And you lied to her by telling her that she had a choice. Well, Dad and I are going to rescue her from you. You're not raising her for another day.
How dare you talk to your own mother this way? Just who do you think you are, huh? What gives you the right to act this way?
You're no mother of mine. Here I thought that Ginny would at least be safe with you, but I shouldn't have even trusted you that far. You only did this to save your own pride. You couldn't stand the fact that Dad could provide for us, and that you couldn't, and you ended up hurting Ginny.
I knew that you were going to be trouble. The moment that I started to sense more of your dad than I did myself, I knew that you were going to be nothing but trouble.
I am glad that I'm more like Dad. At least he would never abuse his children like this, all to protect his fragile ego. He's nothing like you, and that's a good thing. I just hope that you're ready to face the full consequences of what you've done here. After finding out the horrible treatment that my mom and her new husband had been showing Ginny, I knew that we had to get her out of that house somehow. My dad came straight from work to get me and take me to Mom's house to save Ginny. When Ginny was finally able to leave the hospital, she told the police all about the horrible things that she'd been put through. It was more than enough to convince a jury that my mom and Brent needed to be put away for a long time. They were forced to pay a huge fine, which we used to move to a new city where the two of them could never find us, even if they did get let out. Ginny is seeing a therapist, but I think being at home with Dad and I is doing wonders for her. She's slowly starting to return to her old self. I made the mistake once to let Ginny be taken by someone else, but I am not ever going to let anything like that happen to my little sister again. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.